Good morning, and thank you for tuning in. Rose Ward, StampersDelight.com. How's everybody doing today? Don't forget to hop on, say hi, let me know where you're watching from, and if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube. If you're watching it on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe so you know when I will be live or when I upload videos. Definitely leave me a comment so I can see. Meg, you're always the first one. Good morning. We had quite the storm here last night, and I had my fingers crossed that the internet would hold out. So let's hope, because it is still raining, but what a storm we had. Hi, Christine. Hi, Stacy. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, we are going to get started shortly. I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee first. You know, sometimes coffee just tastes better than other days. And this is one of them. Hey, Monica, how are you? And Janelle. Okay, so we are going to get started. I'm going to flip the camera. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, and come stamp with me. Okay. Had to have another sip. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you about, if you want to place an order with me, just go to StampersDelight.com and use this host code if it's less than $150, okay? Hi, Susan. The other thing is when you order, you go to StampersDelight.com, and I've been telling you about the StampersDelightShop.com. You can ignore that now. If you go to my website, which is StampersDelight.com, you can click on Ordering, which is Stampin' Up! Products, or you can go to Logo Apparel, and that's where you can find that awesome mug, some sweatshirts, t-shirts for the stamper in your life, or just for yourself because you deserve it, okay? So all you got to do is remember StampersDelight.com. Go check it out today, okay? Let me know what you think about the websites. Okay, so for today we are using the mini catalog. I am going to be showcasing the Merriest Moments bundle. And believe it or not, I still have quite a few stamp sets in here I have not showcased yet. And my thought process is I want to do every single one of them for you before Christmas, either on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Thank you, Angie. Yes, don't forget to share my videos. I only have 50 work days left before I will be doing this permanently or full time. So please help me get the word out, okay? So again, this is the Merriest Moment bundle, and that also comes with an embossing folder and the dies. The other thing I really want to remind you about is there's only 7 days left for the celebration. I do believe I tried to order this for somebody, and it is already out of stock. That's the Bedazzling paper. At least in the U.S. it was when I tried yesterday. So remember, a lot of these items are limited quantities. So you want to get your order in. $50 or more U.S. gets you one of these products for free. $100 would get you one of the $100 items like the Summer Shadow dies, which a lot of people miss. Okay, that coordinates with the stamp set that's in the big catalog. Okay, so you definitely want to check that out. The Delicate Dahlias, that is also a $100 item that, you know, $100 gets you that free. So you definitely want to get those orders in the next 7 days. Also, if your order is over $300 or your workshop is over $300, you're going to get the In Your Words for free. Love this set. Great, great sentiments for your cards. And right now, 7 days left. When you join the Stampin' Up! Family and my team, you get to pick one of these bundles for free, and you add that into your kit for $99. Doesn't cost you anything more. You get $125 of merchandise plus one of these bundles, all for $99. So definitely check that out. Okay, we are going to put that behind us, and we're going to get started. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the stamp set. So this is the stamp set. Hi, Deb. Hi, Debbie. Merriest Moments. This is the what they call hybrid embossing folder, and you are going to love this if you have not played with this yet. You are going to want this. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then we have the Merriest dies. So, of course, we have the dies. Look at this. I mean, what a great deal, right? I have to tell you, this is my favorite right here because you can cut this out and then you can layer this in there and you'll see what I mean. And you have these little pieces to stamp on. Loving this stamp set. Okay, and this actually goes right over here. It's backwards. Do it that way. So you can cut that out too. And you're going to see some of these shortly. Okay, so there's the dies, the embossing folder, and the stamp set. You ready to see some samples? Who's ready to see some samples? Good morning, Maureen. How are you? Okay, so the first one I want to show you is probably one of my favorite cards to do is just the basic white on basic white. Oh, you're welcome. Glad you got your circling dies, Alex. Okay, so this card, and you can see it's just basic white with some dimensionals in the back. I used our gold embossing powder with some champagne glitter dots. One thing I want to mention when I showcase a stamp set and I show you samples, I do not have PDFs or tutorials for every card I do. I know I've been asked by several people. Maybe that's something I will do later on. But the samples, I try to tell you how I did them so that you can also do them. But I don't have written instructions for every sample that I do. I wish I could. Maureen says this is her favorite bundle. So this is the white on white with the gold embossing powder. Very easy to make, but so classy. So elegant and classy. And then instead of stamping on the envelope, I used that embossing folder and I just did the lip of the envelope. That is also another favorite thing I like to do, is emboss the envelopes. You could actually do the whole lip if you want, but I think the edge was plenty. That's the first one. There will be still shots at stampersdelight.com later today. The next one is basically the same card, okay? But what I did was I layered it with that die that I love so much. So you can see I embossed this, just like I did this card right here, right? And then over top of that embossing, I used that large die that I was talking about. That's beginning to be one of my favorites. Let me just grab that real quick. This die right here. And I used the bedazzling paper. And of course, when you use that paper, there's two ways to do that, or that die. You can cut it out like this, and if you put this little guy in here, you're going to have it create your own little window. And then what you have left when you do that is this piece for your card, and this piece right here, it comes out, so you can use that for another card. Okay, so I just want to let you know that. Okay, so same card, just a different look. And of course, inside. And of course, embossed on the envelope. So really, basic card. Same card, different look. Next one I'm going to bring in, I used our paper from the rose and gold paper from the annual catalog. I used some of our designer series paper back there. Oh yeah, you're going to want this bundle, Meg. And then what I did was for the poinsettias, I used the red velvet paper. So I didn't have to stamp them. I just used the paper and cut them out. I did stamp the leaves. And again, here's that beautiful die and an insert piece for the sentiment. Isn't that gorgeous? And of course, this is early Expresso and garden green. Season's greetings. And of course, I did stamp the envelope with this, and I used the coordinating paper on the lip of the envelope here. Yes, it is a really good bundle, Angie. Okay, so now I have two more cards to show you, and this is actually the one I'm going to actually stamp, but I'm going to show you two different ones. Let's start with this one. Okay, so this one, again, I've got the designer series paper back there. I've got that great die, and I've stamped some of those leaves and poinsettias but I'm going to show you this card. This is a trifold card. Are you ready? So this is actually what I'm going to show you. I am going to give you the measurements. The measurements will also be on my blog later today, along with the pictures, okay? So this is, excuse me, I get talking and I got to clear my throat. So this is my trifold card. Again, let me bring that up so you can see this. And then there's the matching card. So that's the first one I did. Oh, thanks, Maureen. I'm going to show you how to do it in a minute. Okay. Same card, same idea. Okay, and I put the name of the DSP, the Designer Series paper that I used too. This one, same idea, different colors. Instead of using the white, I use that bedazzling paper. You can use gold foil, silver foil. That would look gorgeous too. I'm going to bring that up real close. And if you can see here, what I did was I used those little gold leaves from one of the gold holly leaves that we have in the catalog. And I added those. Let me bring it up real close. I added those right here. Okay. And same thing. We're going to open it up this way. You want to see how I did that? Okay, we're going to get started. Don't worry about if you forget and don't write the dimensions down. I will have that later on. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you need a card base. So we're going to use the Whimsical and Whimsy. Okay, so the card base is our normal quarter size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Is that correct? Let me just, I hate to give out wrong directions. Hold on. Pretty sure, yeah, 5 1/2. Whew. It's been a while. This has been sitting on my desk since last week. Okay, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We are going to layer that with a piece of Designer Series paper. Now I'm using the Whimsy one. Okay, and that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and layer that down. The less I have on my paper here or my desk, the better for me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm using my Stampin Seal. Love my Stampin Seal. You can use your Tombow if you'd like. I'm going to layer that right down. There's my base. The next part is the pull-out part. I'm going to bring that in, and I'm just going to show you. I've already done it. But this piece is 3 3/4. 3 3/4. By 9 3/4. Okay, I'm sorry, 4 3/4. Did I say 3? 4 3/4 by 9 3/4. That's the base piece. Then you're going to score that at 3 1/4 and 6 1/2. Okay, remember that's 3 1/4 and 6 1/2. And I'm going to write these down and have this in the description later. Okay, let's move this out of the way. I am going to bring in my bone folder because you really want to give this a good burnishing. Okay. All right. Okay. So there's our base. This is the pull-out part. Okay, so this is the pull-out part. Okay. For this one, I am going to take a piece of our... Now, I haven't done this card this way, so we'll see how it comes out. This is our white velvet paper. I am going to take... Just grab it. This die, and I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. Bam, it's all done. Okay, so that's going to go on the top. So that, if you remember, is going to just go right here. You really don't need a background for it because you've already got that pink color. All right, so let's start with this. All right, I am going to bring in a piece of, well, let's see. I think I'm just going to start with this and go ahead and layer it down. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to layer that right on top here. Okay. I already have one of those little pieces that I cut out from here. Now remember, you can get that. You can get that by itself, or you can cut it out with this and do them both. Whoops, sorry. Okay. So I'm going to bring that white in, and I'm going to bring in some colors here, or some sentiments. A Joyful Christmas. What's this one? Together. Okay. So we're going to do a little stamping here first. So I am going to stamp this first, and I am going to grab my mint macaron, and this is going to say, a joyful Christmas to you and yours. You can see I have paper over my mat. I like to do that. Oop. Okay, so there's my sentiment. Go ahead and put that right on here. Now, to put that on there, I'm actually going to use dimensionals. You're going to see how easy this is. You're going to love it. Thank you, Linda. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on this. Time to change this, that's for sure. Lay that right inside there. Okay, so let's do the other sentiments next. So for these inside pieces here, okay, you're going to need 2 pieces of your basic white, or whatever, you can use very vanilla. So you're going to need 2 pieces, and they are 4 1/4 by 3, and they fit nicely right in there. Okay, so let's stamp those up next. So we have a joyful Christmas to you and yours. Together is the merriest place to be. Season's greetings. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hopefully I'm doing that straight. I'm going to bring in my smaller poinsettia, or poinsettia, however you say it. I am going to use my Blushing Bride. I just got my finger in it, so hopefully I don't get it all over the paper. I'm going to bring in my medium size leaf, because there's 3 different leaves here. And I'm just going to stamp some of that around. Let's put one. I don't want too much leaf on there. I'm just going to do it this way. Okay. I'm going to bring that one in. I'm going to do the same thing. Thank you, Sam. Definitely share my videos. Oop, wrong color. I grabbed that poinsettia and put it in green. We don't want to do that. And you can use any colors, okay? This is a little muddy looking today. I don't know why. There we go. Okay. You do this. Sometimes I have a hard time figuring out which way the poinsettia goes or the leaves go. I actually don't think it matters, but listen, people look that close to your card. They're either really good stampers, or you don't need to be sending them cards. Okay, so there's our inside sentiments. So we're going to go ahead and put those, and you can put them any which way you want. I'm going to use this one down here. It gives me a little bit more room to write. So let's go ahead and do that. this one. I'm really getting into the pink and green for Christmas. I love it. Okay. So there's your pull-out. There's your pull-out piece, right? Look at that. How easy is that? Okay, so we're going to put that up here for a minute. Bring this back in. I'm going to take a piece of white, and I am going to ink up. Whoop, that's a little too far. I'm going to ink up 2 of these. I'm going to grab in the larger one. Grab 2 of those. Then I'm going to grab some leaves. So we'll take 1 large one, and we'll grab, well, that's the medium one, so let's grab the large one. Let's put this one right here. Actually, I need another one. I think I can probably fit him right here. All right, so it fits, I'm going to use the medium one again. Okay, there's my poinsettias that I need to cut out. I'm closing up my ink so I don't get it all over. I'm going to bring in my die cutting machine. And I'm going to cut these out. So let me grab the 2 dies that I need. And I am actually going to move that over because it's not flat enough. And then just play with those and find the way that it goes, because there is you can find the petals. There we go. There's 1 petal. I think we'll do this one up here first. I'm going to have to cut this a few times. Come on. Get that right where it needs to be. Why are my Post-it notes never where they need to be? I thought they were on my table here, but it looks like they're not. Okay, let's grab this one. Let's see where the other one is. Looks like I'm missing one of my, oh no, I'm not. Okay, let's see, this one should go here. Hold on, there we go. And we got a smaller one. I should have had these cut out, but sometimes new people are watching and they don't know how this all works, so we want to show them, right? Okay. When you have this many dies, I really suggest that you use the Post-it note. But for time's sake, we're just gonna wing it. Okay, this one didn't quite pull out. Let's grab those. I'm gonna do it again. Here's one. And that one didn't really cut out that well, but we're gonna go with it because I'm gonna layer it anyway. Okay, so let's do this one. Which bundle is this? It's the Merriest. Somebody tell us the full name, because I forgot already. Merriest bundle, I think. And let's just... Well, that's not good. I just dropped my die. Okay, hold up here. Drop the die. Might have to improvise. Oh, I found it. Those little pesky things go all over the place, don't they? Where's the weirdest place you found a stamp or a die? I'd love to hear that one, because we know how we can never find... I actually need the other die. Let me grab this one. We know how those pesky things get lost. Come on. I think this one is the wrong one. Come on. All right, we're just going to cut this out. If it's wrong, it's wrong. There we go. Let's just grab this one. Okay. You may see in the camera, it's not quite lined up good, but I think we're good. Okay, we're just going to go with it. It looks like they all fell down the machine. No, they didn't. And that one really moved. Okay. So we're going to go with what we got here, okay? All right, one more time. Got that one, got that one. One more I need, and that's the smaller one. This is why I like to cut them out ahead of time. And believe it or not, it is really hard doing it live. Not only from the standpoint that it's, come on, nerve-wracking to do it live. Everything always moves. Let me do it this way. It's not always easy to figure out which way this goes. I'm telling you, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. And that should be good. The scariest place was in the trash? Yeah, that's a scary place to find a stamp. I've done that with dies, not stamps, but they've stuck to the paper. And then I've thrown the paper out, not really realizing my die's on it. Okay, let's bring these in. They're not perfect, but neither am I. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the large one. And that's going to go right here. You see, I could have cut that better, but we're going with it this morning. I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on this. Yeah, because I have to get to work, so we can't play around with it and do it again. Okay, I'm going to put that right there. I am going to grab a smaller one. You're in work early today? Okay, yeah, I'm on a little bit later shift today, which is a good thing for me. And then I'm going to grab another dimensional, and I'm going to put that right here. I mean, this is really going to be puffy. Okay, but I like it. Okay. Now for the leaves, I'll do the same thing with those. I only got 3 here because I didn't like the way the other one came out, and that's okay. I'm going to put dimensionals on those. And I'm going to put this one right here. A larger one right here. And a larger one right here, just to add some more green. Okay. How's that so far? I'm going to bring in those gold ones. And believe it or not, these little gold ones, mini dimensionals, if I have them up here, do fit. If not, I will just use my regular ones. I actually have some mini ones. They got the black. They're the black dimensionals, but I don't think you'll see them, so I'm just going to use those. The mini dimensionals work great on here. I'm just going to add one right here. Look at how that makes it pop. One right here. And I think a smaller one of the little, whoop, look, came right out for me. Look at that. Put it the right way. Look at that. What colors are, oh, the poinsettias, these are Blushing Bride because I wanted it to match the Whimsy paper. Okay, so there's our pullout. I'm not done with it yet, but I want to put it down on my base. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to add this. To the base right here. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I like the colors. What do you think? I know they're not the traditional Christmas colors. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going all out pink here. I'm going to bring in our In Color gems. Taking the larger ones. And then, let's see, I'll put a larger one here. Some of those smaller ones. My goodness, I actually love the color. Of course I love the colors anyway, but wasn't sure how it would look for a Christmas one. You love it? Thank you. Okay, so that's what that's the outside. You could also add some Winkostella. I'm gonna open that up. And I'm even gonna add the larger one in here. There's a stamp here that does berries. There it is. But I'm going to add these gems. It really makes it pop. Let's move that over, Chad. And there I have my Whimsy pink and green. So easy, right? It's not a hard card to make. Now I have a leftover piece which I can use on the lip of the envelope like you've seen me do. But you know what? I am gonna use the embossing folder instead. So this embossing folder, because it's an edged one, you really have to, you're just gonna angle that in. Okay. So I just want to get this piece right here or this piece right here. So they're both the same. So what you do is you're going to, let me flip it around and lay it down. You're going to lay that lip of the envelope in. You're going to close it up like that, right? You're going to fold it over. You're going to bring in your die cutting machine. And we are going to emboss that. I'm just going to lay that. You see how I'm laying it in just to get the lip of the envelope. And I'm going to run it through. And I'm going to have to hold this and do it this way because it's very tight. Okay, because I've got that extra in there. So I'll take out that plate and I'm just going to run it through. Had the number 2 in there. I don't need the number 2. And there, something got on my envelope. There you can see the embossed edge of that die. There we have another card. Okay, I'm going to do one real quick for you, okay? So I am going to bring in a piece of basic white, just because I love this embossing folder. I am going to bring in that embossing folder. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a real quick card. Okay, there we go. Going to go ahead and put this through. Nothing to it. I'm going to take my piece of basic white. This is actually the same size. I'm going to trim that just a hair. Just a tad. I'll take some off this side. this actually looks like I used the shimmery white. So this is shimmery white and shimmery white, not the basic white, sorry. There we go, okay. I am going to bring in my cherry cobbler. I am going to bring in the Christmas sentiment. A joyful Christmas to you and yours. I love this. I want it this way. I'm actually going to trim that a little bit more. Let me just trim that other side. It's a 4 1/4. Let's just take a hair off of that. And bring in my card base with my dimensionals. And we are going to lay that right there. Hi, Jill. And look at that. Pretty card already, right? Okay, I'm going to grab that Season's Greetings. I'm going to grab the smaller. Now this time I am going to use the berries. And the same color. Okay, right on top of it. I'll grab, let's see, the little leaf. And let's see, well, actually I'm not going to grab the leaf. I'm not going to put leaves on it. I'm just going to leave it like that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to grab some of the Opal Rounds on this one. And I'm just going to add a few of those around here. And maybe 2 over here. So those are the Opal Rounds. And you got a beautiful, quick, easy card. Oh, thank you, Jill. I mean, nothing more to it than that. Look at that. Who wouldn't want to get this card? Right? And then, of course, you just emboss the matching envelope. So I'm going to bring the cards back in so you can see them. So this is the one we just did. And again, the still shots will be on my blog. We've got the 3 pull-out cards. Which one's your favorite pull-out one? Which color? We've got the red and greens, and you see how easy the trifold pull-out card is. Thank you, Jean. And then, of course, the white embossed one. And another embossed one with the glitter paper. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera. I'm going to grab something over here, if I can. Okay, let me flip the camera. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this fun fold. Really easy to make, not hard at all, as you could see. I really like making it. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank God it's Friday. No way, you can't decide which one you like better. Well, that's a good thing. So again, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend. And I will be back on YouTube live Monday night. I know I missed Monday night last week, or this week. But me and my husband were enjoying a nice day, getting things done and just enjoying some time together after our anniversary. So I promise I'll be back Monday night, barring any catastrophes with the internet. Okay, have a great weekend, everyone. I will be back here next Friday morning at 7 a.m. Until then, keep on stamping, Stampers. Bye.